Let's talk Tanya for the 21st of Kislev of a leap year. So we've learned the title page of Tanya, the approbations, the introduction of the sons of the Alter Rebbe to the expanded version of Tanya. And now we are going to start learning today, the author's foreword to the Tanya, wherein the Alter Rebbe is going to tell us exactly why he decided to write the Tanya. But before the Alter Rebbe does so, the Alter Rebbe is going to actually wisely preempt the various concerns that the Chassidim would inevitably have with the publication of the Tanya. The problem is that this sefer, this book, is there to answer the questions that the Chassidim have. All those who came to the Alter Rebbe and they had their issues and their problems in the service of God, and up until that point, they would go into the Alter Rebbe for a meeting, what's known as a Yechidus, and the Alter Rebbe would privately answer every one of the questions they had. And now, the purpose of this book, of the Tanya now, with the publication of the Tanya, the Alter Rebbe is saying, over here, you're going to find the answers to your questions in here. And the Alter Rebbe knew that the Chassidim would not be very excited by that, because the Chassidim would prefer to actually go into the Alter Rebbe and have a meeting with him, and to get that personal attention and to receive their personal answer. The Alter Rebbe says, we know there's a statement, which means that you can't compare hearing to seeing. Now, usually when this statement is used, it talks about the superiority of seeing. You can't compare when you see something to when you hear about it. But there's also another way of looking at it, which is, the Alter Rebbe says, you can't compare hearing about something or hearing something directly from a teacher, a mentor, or a Rebbe. You can't compare that to seeing it in a book. It's just not the same. It's not the same experience. And for a variety of reasons that the Alter Rebbe is going to say. He says, number one, when you are reading a book, that is you getting the message is kind of dependent upon you having clarity of mind, upon you having certain information. And if you are stumbling in the dark, you'll be able to read a book and you're not going to understand the light that's in the book. That's number one. Number two, everyone is different and everyone is touched by something differently. So therefore, when you go into the Rebbe and you ask the Rebbe the question, the Rebbe knows exactly who you are and he tells you what you need to hear. In a book, there's all this information and you don't know which piece in the book is meant especially for you. And that's true even in Torah. Even though Torah is given to all the Jewish people collectively, but there's a concept of V'sein chalkeinu b'seirasecha, which means that every one of us has our portion in Torah. That part which we distinctly connect to. And if you go into your Rebbe, the Rebbe knows who you are, knows which part of Torah is going to talk to your soul specifically, and he will address you in that personal way. And the Alter Rebbe knew, therefore, that when he publishes this Tanya, the Chassidim are going to say, we don't want to read a book, we want to actually hear from you individually. And the Alter Rebbe says, but nevertheless, I am publishing the Tanya. And why? And how is the Alter Rebbe going to do away with the concerns of the Chassidim? We'll find that out in tomorrow's Let's Talk Tanya.